Thank you, everyone who showed up and everyone who will be showing up throughout this stream. We're really excited to be here. We've been working on this for a while, so it's excited to finally get the ball rolling. We've got some wonderful characters playing with us today, or players, I should say. We've got Matt playing Volcosta. We've got Eric playing Tillin, or Till for short. We've got Mickle playing Looney Silvertune.
I'm
And
number 3 on the encounter table.
we've got Cass playing Finrick. If everyone wants to go ahead and do a little bit of an intro about your guys' characters, let's start with Matt.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm Eric. I'm playing Tillowin, the gnome artificer. His whole deal is that he actually used to be a pirate, and has since retired in order to pursue some personal goals that involve a missing friend. And the result of that, he has joined up with a party. And his whole style is that he's, one of those inventors that's trying to get better at what he does, but secretly has that whole syndrome of imposter and feeling like he really isn't good enough as what he does. But he wouldn't let anyone else know that. And he's a haughty, confident guy who has that steampunk look about him and just wants to get things done, even though he's not sure he can do it. And that's Till, yeah.
All right, so Mickle, let's go ahead and hear about our musical Looney Silvertune.
Well, I played Looney Silvertune. I am a tiefling bard that is a very precarious and a little bit of a presumptuous character who will hold steadfast when there's action about, but other than that, will usually be kind of lightly following around and playing music and finding tales.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to move over here to Cass. Tell us about the big boy Finrick.
I play Fenric, who is a Furbolg barbarian, on his first adventure, trying to learn how the world outside of his small town works.
Beautiful. All right. So, the campaign that we are going to be going through here on Encounter Table is going to be titled as The Alchemy Forge. We're going to be going through the preamble here today. The world that is set up so far is the adventurers have been following a caravan. They've been going through the main kingdom road, a paved road that goes across many of the modern nations that has been there for hundreds of years and well used. The heroes are trying to go to the kingdom of Thul-Un, which unfortunately is not along this road, as it is divided from the rest of the nations by a mountain range. They've decided to follow this caravan to the southern edge of what is known as the Plain-Touched Lands, and are going to seek to traverse it in the mountains to get there under a quicker time frame. The Plain-Touched Lands are known among these regions as a very dangerous and occult place. About 600 years ago, there was a great war among nations where mages pulled down a cataclysm that ripped asunder the planes of reality in this area. So now, with the weakened veil between the planes, multiple elemental planes are constantly crashing here and vying for space. There is a cult that lives within this area that is amiable to outsiders, that seem to worship this area as some form of divine presence. You guys are here to seek their guidance on traversing these lands to make it to Thul-Un. All right, the players are standing here with the caravan owner, Higgs. You guys have been traveling with this gentleman for quite a while. It has been about 2 months on this journey so far, with the various misadventures we will possibly allude to throughout this session. And he is bidding you farewell as you guys wait for your guides. It's a little sad to see you guys go. I know you paid me for the bit of passage, but having some capable warriors around has always been a nice peace of mind. I've always traveled without caravan guards, so having that extra muscle is a little nice.
Phil kind of steps up and I smile and I say, well, it was a pleasure working with you too, pal. You know, I hate to say this, but I think I'll miss you. And I reach out a hand to offer a handshake.
He reaches his big old meat hooks of hands out and grabs yours and shakes it vigorously. Yeah, if you guys ever find yourselves around the Kingdom Road here again, I'm sure you'll see me. I'm always going up here no matter the time of year.
I'm sure it'll be a nice ride. I think you'll just miss the entertainment though.
Yeah, you can't really say you're going to get many other as adventurous guests as we are on your trips, maybe. I'd say we put you through the ringer in the stuff that we get up to.
He chuckles. After doing this for so many years, it's been a nice break from the monotony.
Fair enough.
So, are you guys sure that you want to be traversing through this area? I know you guys are capable, but they tell stories about this place.
What kind of stories?
Well, they say that the spirits of the people that were killed in the Cataclysm still wander this area. There's quite a few other caravans that go along the eastern route around the Plane-Touched lands that, you know, they say that they've been attacked by bandits, people that are not how they should be.
Not how they should be, huh? Well,
Yeah, they say there's a man wreathed in fire that brings down the fire of the spirits on their caravan and takes their stuff.
People will find any excuse to say that they were robbed. Reality is probably just some bandits.
Most likely.
That may be so, but it's worth keeping an eye out for. You know,
Oh,
there's always a grain of truth in each kind of story like that.
Well, either way, I think we can handle it. Right, folks?
the stories are exactly what I'm looking for.
Around that time, you guys hear a bit of splashing in the water behind you. While looking out into the area of the Plane-Touched lands just to your north, you guys see the various edges of the plains constantly crashing and shifting against each other. A thin veiled line of blue light dividing each, almost supernaturally. There's areas of the terrain that just don't quite meet up, but the blue line divides it cleanly as if nothing was wrong. Within the area of the water plane, about ankle-deep water, you see two robed figures, both women, traversing as if nothing was wrong towards your position.
Who's that?
Hail!
These
I
two
wave
women
out to the
walking
wa-
up seem to be wearing various bits of jewelry with seemingly religious purpose to them. It is silver bound with blue chemical tinting along it, and gems of various color.
I'll wave him down. Hail! What are you two doing?
The blonde woman pulls down her hood and speaks to you. My name is Caliestra, and this is my sister Ketetra. We have heard from our sources that you are looking for a guide through the Plane-Touched lands.
That would be lovely.
I guess we're
That
pretty
would be
famous, huh?
lovely.
I guess we're
That
pretty
would be
famous, huh?
lovely.
I guess we're pretty famous,
They
huh?
chuckle. Yes,
They chuckle.
we have many
Yes,
seers and watchmen along these border areas to look for people. We know this area is dangerous, though we may live in it, so we offer guidance to people trying to traverse through to protect our area, protect ourselves, and protect the people traveling through.
How do we know we can trust you?
It is the way of our people. There's nothing that we would do that would break that trust.
Are you a nomadic people?
Yes, just like the ever-changing areas of the plane-touched lands, we too shall move. Staying in one place can be, well, dangerous.
Is that a threat? Did you threaten us? No, right. No, okay.
I think that's more of a warning of what can happen.
All right. I'm going to turn back to the caravan master and ask, do you know these folks at all? Have you seen them around passing through this area?
Well, I've seen people wandering around in there, but I've never been crazy enough to pay it too much mind. I've never really taken passengers who were crazy enough to go through here before, so I can say meeting them face to face is a first.
Fair enough.
I feel like we'll be fine. We should trust him.
Famous last words.
Ketetra, the brown-haired lady, butts in and says, "Well, as I am one of our outriders, I must make sure to warn you. We may be here to ensure your safety in crossing, but that does not mean that this is by any means safe. We have been trained for years to traverse through the lands that we live in. It is very precarious, the instances that the elemental planes, as they shift, can cause very unknown reactions, and some of these planes and areas we do not want to traverse through. So please, as you are coming with us, do not stray far."
I mean, it sounds like we have a way. Should we be off?
I'm going to turn to Fen. What do you think, Fen? Should we trust these guys? Or ladies, I guess?
Yeah, I think we trust him. Seems pretty legit.
All right. Well, if you guys think that we're clear, I guess we can go ahead with it.
All right, follow us and do not stray too far. If we end up in an area where the planes are going to be converging where we are at, stay very close. The convergences can be quite dramatic. And with that, Ketetra, it actually pulls out a large, what almost looks like an astrolabe. It has multiple shifting parts to it. Actually, I believe I will have Looney and Till both roll a... let's go ahead and just go with an intelligence check on that one.
Alrighty. So that's going to be a total of an 18 for Till. Oh, you bumped my dice.
I believe that's a 19 or a 20.
Nice. All right. So both of you recognize maybe not this device, but maybe its purpose. It's very similar to the astrolabes that many scholars have made to show the cosmere of the elemental planes and the outer world planes. Looking at this, it seems like there is an odd design to it that you cannot quite understand, as it is constantly moving and shifting amongst itself, seeming to have a very heavy golden arrow pointed in one specific direction.
Interesting. Some sort of guide.
The wind has stilled, the temperature has become oddly neutral, and the sky above has turned into a purplish haze,
Ooh.
blocking out whatever time of day it might have been. You can no longer see the sun, as there's just a bit of an ambient light going on. And with that, I will ask the viewers to be patient with us for a moment as we change boards.
Man, it's a good thing that they have this guidance tool. Hard to move around without being able to reference the stars of the sun.
Okay, I fixed it.
Ah, wonderful.
Yep. Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh yeah, I'll make a note about that. When we get back to standard sound.
I apologize, everyone who is watching. There are so many crazy things that I'm trying to figure out as a player and as orchestrating everything. This is more difficult than I thought it would be.
Oh, can they hear us right now?
Yep.
They can hear us.
Oh, wonderful. I just assumed they couldn't.
Yeah, don't say bad things about them.
Yeah, the be right
Oh,
back
I
screen.
always will.
Oh
Also-
man, this place looks creepy as heck.
This is our loading screen, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Whew.
All right. So, as you guys have been traveling, it seems odd as you're not able to track your time. It seems like it could have been long hours, marching for 10, 12 hours, or it could have been days. You're not quite sure. You guys are getting to a bit of fatigue, and Caliestra and Katetra have both mentioned that they hope to set up camp soon, but they are hoping to get to a specific destination that's a little more stable. As you guys have traveled, you seem to have come upon an area where they both seem very nervous. They have opened up to you saying, "We're going to have to travel through an area that we were hoping to avoid. Please stay very close. It is dangerous here, and we normally try to skirt around the edges of it. But two areas of the infernal plane have both converged in front of us, and trying to navigate around would be more dangerous than pushing through the short bit we would have to."
Well,
So you're saying we're stuck between a rock and a hard place?
For the proverbial term, I guess, but it'll be more likely rotting fields of muck and the potential to run into anything unfortunate. Most denizens of the plains avoid the areas that get pulled into the material realm here. But not all of them are so lucky, because once pulled here, they are usually trapped. And they become very hostile in those situations, outside of their natural habitat.
man, I'm glad that we're not paying you because you're not doing a good job of making me feel safe.
I mean, better than nothing, right?
True. I would have a hard time navigating this, that's for sure.
Here, let us navigate over to one of these rocks and take a breather for a minute. It's difficult to move through this area.
After seeing that they had their own nervous aura about them, I will definitely feel a little bit twitchy myself, and I'll be kind of at the ready with my weapons and spells.
Vol is going to
And with that,
jump on the rock and look around to get a good vantage point before battle.
beautiful, because I just turned it into turn-based mode. All right, so as you guys start climbing up and getting near the rock, go ahead and roll. I'll have everyone roll a perception before we pull into initiative.
All right.
Yeah. Oh god.
They go so quickly.
17.
Mine's a total of 19.
Let me.
18.
I believe I got an 18.
Beautiful. You all see this wonderful, horrific scene.
Oh, good.
As you guys are walking, going through this area has been difficult. The muck at your feet, which smells of like that almost sickly sweet of plant rot that you find in swamps. It covers you all the way up past your ankles to the top layer is more murky and liquid-like sludge than solid earth beneath it. A
Now-
few of you feel the wonderful feeling of getting your feet out of that as you walk onto the rock and hear a scream. Caliestra yells out in pain as you see these, what seems to be almost like thin, stick, bone-like fingers reach up out of the muck. These things are long and dangerous as they engulf her whole calf and then just rip down, just ripping straight through muscle and flesh as it pulls her leg under.
You okay?
Vol's
Probably not.
going to jump down immediately.
Let's go into
Well, yeah.
initiative real quick, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
5.
Man. Very similar rolls today. Yeah, for Till, that's going to be a 6 total. Not very responsive. I guess that makes sense since I was more concerned if they're okay or not at first.
And that's a 16 for me.
21.
Wow.
Beautiful. Let me get these bits of initiative going real quick.
The suspense. So when you said bony hands, do you mean literal bones or bone looking?
Bone looking. There's a thin bit of sinew and tendons that you can see under the skin that sheathes them, but it seems like this is some kind of creature that is so skinny its like thinly covered fingers work like claws. Looking at the size of these fingers and the fact that you can see its knuckles sticking out of the muck, this thing is very large.
Ooh.
Jeez. And you said this muck is going up to, like, ankle height?
Yes, about ankle height. If you stand in one place too long, you'll continue to sink under also.
I
All
see.
right, I'm going to go ahead and get this turn order going.
Sounds like an infection waiting to happen.
Yeah. Now, are we talking, like, Fenric's ankles? You know, like, is this up to my knees?
Yeah, I'm going to vote your knees. Well, actually, you are lighter, so I'm going to say your ankles also. Oh,
Okay.
and note for this combat, everyone is going to be moving at half speed while in the muck.
Oh, good.
All right. Let's see, I'm going to reveal this ungodly creature real quick, and then describe it afterwards, because it's not letting me put it in the initiative rotation.
Whoa.
Ew.
All right, so we got that thing. It's going to be...
Oh. Wow. Didn't get that on Hero Forge. Or did you?
You know what? It seems like the turn order in this is bugging out, so I'm just gonna run this manually.
Cool.
Put us back in exploration mode. All right, so it's gonna start off with Looney. You see as this creature pulls the upper half of its body up from the muck, a good 40, 60 feet away from you guys. This thing is absolutely massive. You see its upper chest is gaunt, but covered in like a thin, wiry muscle. And its head is, the skin pulled tight and large, black, glassy eyes. And a jaw that, as it looks at you guys, unfurls with a double hinge in this long, man-eating sized maw. There are small fangs in there, but there seems to be bony protrusions all the way down its throat. As it stares at you, another arm pulls itself out of the muck just to your right.
Oh.
And now it is your turn.
that is not a
Okay.
tree.
Going to step over here, which will put me within 60 feet of its head. And I'm going to yell out to it. It will be like, "Hey, what horrible thing did you crawl up into and die? And why are you coming out now?" And it has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, please diss the monster so hard that it hurts, please.
It has to roll a 13 or higher. Damn.
Oops. So it does succeed. It seems like you grab its attention and it kind of like cocks its head slightly, like it might have almost understood you. This almost dog-like reaction to you speaking to it seems almost extra disturbing on this muck-covered, rot-smelling creature.
Next time, tell it it's a bad boy.
I don't know. I
Hit it
was
with a
gonna say
newspaper.
something. I was gonna say something about that smell.
Bet that guy doesn't wash his ass.
All right, so with that, it is the creature's turn.
Oh, snap.
Oh, geez. Oh, I do not like the way that the entire ground shakes when it when it moves.
That's
It
a big boy.
moves 10 feet forward, and there's going to be an opposed roll with Caliestra. It seems like she is able to splay out her other foot and put her hands on the ground as it seems to be continuing to try to pull her under the muck. She screams out in pain again, there's obviously something tugging at her under the ground. The other arm seems to snake out partially more as it reaches towards you guys, but doesn't quite... Oh, actually, yes, it will. It will be attacking Vol.
What?
I'm going to take a wild guess and assume a 9 does not hit.
I don't even move. Fool's just gonna stand there blinking as it wisps at the air.
So this arm, as it snakes up over, its elbow slightly protrudes out of the muck as it swipes at you and just ends up slamming into the rock next to you and then slipping back just to... it slips back under the muck to pull its hand out and almost looks like the hand is staring at you.
These rocks aren't as safe as I thought.
All right, it is Caliestra's turn. She's going to attempt to pull out of this grapple again. And she does not. As a last-ditch effort, she pulls out what seems to be a large belt dagger and stabs it into the muck below her. And seems to hit something. As the large creature seems to jerk slightly and stare back down at Calietra.
Oh, damn. So it's really going everywhere underneath this muck. Okay.
Vol, it's your turn.
Okay. With that, Vol is going to cast a known spell, a prepared spell even, Shield of Faith, which just gives him a couple extra health, or a couple extra defense, and he's going to jump down, landing right in the muck next to the creature, trying to get its attention.
All right.
That'll be it.
All right, from Vol, it's going to move on to Till.
All right. So while I reach to get out my pistol, I'm gonna lean down to my construct companion, the little cat Gary, and I'm gonna kind of whisper under my breath a little bit, like, "Hey, buddy, we're gonna need a shield here." And using that as my bonus action, he's gonna go ahead and hop over to Fenn's shoulder, and will pulse out a little bit of a electromagnetic field kind of deal looking thing, and we'll give everyone, let's see how much the shield is, 1d8 plus my intelligence, so that is going to be, yeah, it's going to be 7 temporary HP shield on, that should reach everyone. Yep.
And that'll extend to Kalietra and Katetra also, correct?
If they're allies, yep.
All right, wonderful. I mean, yeah, they're totally allies. Let's just go with that.
I see them as allies, so they should get it.
They don't get the health. What does that mean?
Hey, and then at least Gary sees them as allies, I should say. But and then after that, I'm just gonna go ahead and sling up my pistol and turn a knob on it, so it's the runes on it glow red to indicate it's ready to shoot a firebolt, and we'll fire at the thing's head.
Wonderful.
Well, that's a roll, and that's
You
not a
flung that
roll.
thing halfway across the world.
Yeah, it's just my shot was just about as accurate as the dice. It goes right past it because it definitely missed. Unless like a 7 is gonna hit it.
Unfortunately not. It's large, but it's not quite the broadside of a barn.
Damn, that's what I was practicing on. Okay, that's the end of my turn.
All right, moving this over to Fenric.
I'm going to try to pull our friend out of the mud.
All right. You are in an adjacent square. Go ahead and roll a strength check. Yeah, let's go with that.
17.
All right.
19, sorry.
Let me go ahead and roll the opposed. All right. So you, with your large stature, you just kind of clomp on over there, grab her up under the arms, and you are already committed to the action as she looks up into you and almost says no, as you just rip her up out of the muck. What's your strength mod?
4.
All right. As you rip her up, you definitely pull her out of the muck and she's no longer being pulled in. But it seems like whatever was holding her slightly gets pulled up, and you realize its nails are still dug into her leg as you're pulling her up, and then it just rips free.
Oh God.
She definitely seems to be rather hurt by the situation, but she's no longer being held, as when you pull her up, the hand slinks back down into the muck.
I'm gonna set her on the rock and apologize profusely. Like, oh no, I'm so sorry.
With tears in her eyes, she kind of just nods back to you, saying, it's okay, it's better than being suffocated alive.
Hopefully my shield at least, softened the blow a little bit.
It did a little bit. All right, Katetra, seeing this happen to her sister and the kind of having the shock wear off of this whole situation, she whips her head over to the creature and just pulls out her staff and swings it at him as a magic bolt of energy flies towards it. Well, that's a nice turn of events.
Yeah.
Finally, something going our way.
All right, as the bolt slings out, it strikes this thing right along the side of the head, grazing its large bulbous eye. It lets out this almost inhuman screech noise as it reels back and then definitely is staring directly at her, and it's pissed.
Good. Yes. Take the attention.
All right, and with that, it's going back to Looney.
I will draw my rapier and take another stab at it. As I extend my hand, the rapier out, pointing at it, and cast Cloud of Daggers.
And
directly
you're
on
aiming
top
this
of
at
it.
its head, correct?
Yes. So the air will fill up with daggers in a 5-foot space. And anything that enters the spell area or for the first time on their turn or starts its turn in it will take 4d4 slashing damage.
I love this spell.
Wonderful. You said there was a dex save against it, or?
No, there's no save against it.
Ah, beautiful. All right, so at the beginning of its turns, it'll be taking the damage. Give me 1 second. There you go. You have a little indicator for it now.
Yeah.
So the knife.
It's got hands.
All right, it's going to move over to its turn. The Cloud of Daggers begins to tear it up. Go ahead and roll for damage on that. Oh, dang. That did some damage.
E.
All right, give me 1 second. All right, it is going to continue its move towards you guys. Unfortunately, it looks like the daggers are still within its area.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It seems to brush off the daggers, tearing at its thin skin, still staring at Ketetra. It kind of like lets out this howl at it, and it seems like she... Oof. A very similar thing to what happened before happens. The fingers and palms stick up out of the muck and end up grabbing her along the back and pulling her flat down onto her back and begins to try to drag her under.
Ooh.
All right, and the other arm is going to be striking out at Vol again.
Wonderful.
And again, it doesn't hit. This thing, even though it seems like it can look at you independently of its owner, this thing seems rather blind as it just goes to attack you and slaps itself against the rock again.
Vol seems confused.
Would I notice that it's also blind, or is that something that I probably wouldn't notice from this angle?
I'd say you're rather focused on the main head at the current moment. You've got Finric and a partial rock between you and it, so...
Okay, fair.
All right, and with that, it is Calietra's turn. She's going to roll a con save. All right. Seems like she's biting back the pain and goes to stand, but realizes that her injured leg cannot support her. Looking up, she kind of raises her hand at the arm reaching out, attacking Vol, and lets out a pulse of light. She does not hit with the small ray that streams out towards it. It is Vol's turn.
Excellent. Vol is a little preoccupied with the giant hand not really doing anything to it, but still definitely imposing in front of it. And he is going to hold out his hand and cast Sacred Flame. So a flame-like radiance goes on the creature, and They need to take a dexterity saving throw.
All right, let's see.
And what is that save?
All right, living in muck has made this thing rather not dexterous, and as you're aiming at its hand, which has proven itself to be very unobservant to begin with, it stands there, or stands as much as a arm can.
Okay, so 1d8 radiant damage. Oh, I just dropped it. 6.
All right, so that's 6 damage. Is this does this have any additional effects, or is it just
Let me double check. No, nothing else.
All right, is that it for your turn?
That's it.
All right, so your radiant fire bathes over it, and it seems to crackle and peel back the skin. Little bit of muck, just like the stuff on the ground, begins to ooze out a little bit, but it seems to be not too perturbed. Till, it is your turn.
Okay, so this one of our guides in the front is immobilized. You said their leg isn't looking too hot after being attacked, right?
Yes, Calietra, the blonde lady. She, after being pulled through the muck, it seems like her calf muscle and the muscle along the sides of her feet are just in tatters. They're in shreds.
Okay, yeah, my Till would just remember the blonde lady. Till's not so great with names, so we're just. There's like a moment where like Till like probably has to consider and think about the fact that this really sucks, but is going to go ahead and move forward. You said I have impaired movement, right?
Yes, you can only move half movement while in this terrain.
So that was, well, I was here, and normally I can move 6, so I can move 1, 2, 3. Okay. I am going to go ahead and get up here and get as close as I can to Calietra and use my multi-tool.
I was going to say that one's Catetra. Calietra's up on the rock.
Perfect. Yep, I'm in character. And we are I'm going to try to do what I can to save her. I also call for Gary to hop back on my shoulder and prep a shield. Yeah, we're going to give her a little bit of a stim boost to try to get her out of this situation and see if we can heal her leg enough for her to move. So, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on her. And that'll be for 1d8 plus 3. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Okay, so she gets healed for 11 hit points, and with the intent to target her leg if that's something I can save here.
All right. So just to be sure, so you are going to be moving back towards the rock and not towards her sister, then, right?
Her sister here has the wound. Yes, in front of me.
No, the one up on the rock, who's laying down.
I thought that she also had problems with her leg. I thought that both were injured. Okay.
Oh no, Catetra got grabbed along the back and it just scored some wounds and tried to pull her under. Calietra is the one with the severe, almost crippling wound.
I see. Okay, I thought both were injured. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, well in that case, the intention was try to make sure that this person up here gets out of danger since this giant thing is moving towards them. I will still move up the 3 spaces, but instead of doing a heal spell on her, I'm just going to go ahead and try to get its attention. With, again, Gary on me, ready to cast a shield spell to try to prevent any damage that will go on me. So I'm just going to whip out my pistol again and continue to fire into it, hoping my nerves don't get the best of me and I can actually hit this damn thing. So,
all right.
Let's see. And that is a 13 plus 3 to hit. So that's going to be a 16. Does that hit?
It does.
Awesome. Okay, so that's a 1d10 for damage, just fire damage from the flame bolt. And that is just a 4. Plain old 4.
All right, so got some damage on the head now. It definitely seems a bit irritated. It still seems to be focusing on Ketetra, the one that it's currently trying to pull into the muck, who is directly in front of you, but it noticed the hit, definitely.
It's a free action. Could I yell at it and see if that'll just get its attention? Just be like, hey!
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, cool. That's exactly what I say. I just say, hey, and just try to get its attention at me. I don't know what else a muck monster would understand, so.
I'm gonna say definitely pull its attention. That coupled in with shooting it in the face, it pulled its attention towards you.
Okay, cool.
It's just mucking about.
Hey, nice.
Hi.
All
Cool.
right, with that, it's going to be Finn's turn.
Okay, I am going to go into a rage, seeing all of the people around me in danger. I'm gonna roll a d8 for Wild Magic Barbarian.
For context
Damn it.
for viewers, our Furbolg, his innate Fey magic goes a little wild when he gets angry.
This one is until your rage ends, you are surrounded by multicolored protective light. You gain a +1 bonus to AC, and while within 10 feet of you, your allies gain the same bonus.
Oh, hell
Well-
yeah. I like this one.
Yeah, it seems like your rage at wanting to protect your party manifested itself.
Cute. Alright. So there's the arm that's next to
Next to
Roll.
Yep. Yeah, and then you can also see the fingers wrapping around. I should probably put Ketetra on the ground. Wrapping around Ketetra's midsection, trying to pull her under. Also.
Okay, I'm gonna rip at the fingers then.
All right. Seeing as you use hand-to-hand weapons, I will allow you to do damage while trying to pry the fingers off. So just roll it as a standard attack.
$19.
All right, you hit. Roll for damage.
$8.
All right. You end up grabbing, noticing the fingers gripping around it. It seems like this thing has an odd number of fingers wrapping around her. It seems like it's like 6 or 7 from what you can see. So kind of like you grab one, and then you see the other one that has the puncture wound from when Calietra stabbed it earlier, and you just rip the finger straight off.
Hell yeah, that was my plan.
Nice work.
All right. Anything else on your turn?
Oh shit. Try to rip them again. And I do not.
All right. Without having that second hand of leverage of the finger you already ripped off, you can't quite get the other one to do damage. You definitely pry it back off of her body, but you don't do any damage to it. All right, so Ketetra, is her turn. She's going to attempt to escape the grapple. That's a corner roll, but it's saying 19. She, with your assistance, is able to break out of the fingers and, roll to the side to get out of its grasp. And with that, it's back to Looney.
I keep my rapier still pointed at it. It will also take the. No, it's on its turn. I will cast. I will insult it. Why don't you sink back into the refuse pile that you came up from? And vicious mockery. So the wisdom 13 save.
And it fails.
Takes the d4 damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack. Ooh.
So 2 and disadvantage. And with that, it's its turn again. Go ahead and roll its dagger damage.
Well,
Dang, those daggers are mean.
a lot of flying daggers. You could say that they're pretty sharp.
All right, with the damage it's taken from these daggers, you can see this thing's looking pretty roughed up. It has many lacerations over the upper torso of it that you can see. Again, it's showing directly down into bone, almost like the muscle isn't much of a hindrance to these blades, and the same oozing, stinking muck is seeping out of these wounds. It takes... Oh, wrong direction. Took a detour is what it did. It moves slightly closer. It seems like it is eerily close to you guys now. The hands are going to reach out at you guys again. The first one is going to be attacking Vol. That is a 17. Does it score a hit?
That does not hit.
All right. This thing, it seemed to have better aim this time. Maybe this thing's nearsighted. It swings down and it kind of skitters off your armor and shield, not quite finding purchase with its claws. The second hand is going to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. 1 second. All right. The second one is going to be grappling at Finn. Does a 18 hit, Finn?
Yes.
All right. So this thing reaches up and it ends up grabbing one of your arms as the fingers just reach out from right where it previously was, grabs along one of your arms, and goes to pull you down. Roll an opposing strength check.
$18.
Ooh, yeah, this thing yanks you straight to the ground and your right arm just gets plunged straight into the muck. Its nails bite in a little bit as it pulls you down. Dealing 5 damage. Or, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong stat block. That is actually 7 damage. All right. And with that, it is going to move on to Calietra's turn. She's going to roll another fortitude save. And she's still conscious. All right. She's going to aim at the hand-fighting Vol again. She hits. All right, her glowing bolt skitters off the hand again, doing some damage. This hand is looking rather battered as it's... oh, sorry, wrong hand. This one's still looking rather battered, but not quite as much. All right, Vol.
Well, you might be muted.
Super muted. Bull is going to change things up and reach out and kind of ring an imaginary bell as a white mist full of like flapping wings appears and casts Toll the Dead. They need to make a D12 wisdom save.
D12 wisdom save as opposed to the D20 one?
No.
DC 12.
Yep, there you go. You made it. I made
And it fails.
Excellent.
Is this single target or...
It is. It is single target.
All right.
But it is going, instead of a D8, it's going to take 1d12 damage. And take less. Excellent.
Gotta love the random dice.
Right.
Um,
And this one. It takes necrotic damage. I don't know if that changes anything.
not for this creature subtype.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, this thing's looking pretty beat up. The arm, that is.
Excellent. How's everyone else doing?
All right, Vol,
Yes, I'm
anything else for you?
That's it.
All right, Till, your turn.
Okay, so as I'm gonna kind of try to look around a little bit while I mull over my next 6 seconds of life. When Vol's beating up on the arm, does it look like the head is like wincing or whatever equivalent it would do of pain? Does it seem affected?
Yes, it definitely does.
Okay, and another mental checklist. Does fire seem to affect it any harder? Is this like a burn it with fire kind of deal? Can I tell that at all from when I hit it with my flame shot?
No, it seems like it's kind of taking all damage within stride. Like the fire wasn't affecting it any more than anything else was.
Okay.
So far, you think the most effective thing so far was when Finn just ripped its finger off. It was real upset about that.
I'm gonna glance over at Fenn's body next to me. And maybe I don't know if I have time to do this, or if I just can look. Fen, do you have anything on you that is like throwable, launchable, like any maybe 1 to 5 pound objects?
I have a dagger.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot a dagger. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just gonna grab the dagger from Fen. I'm gonna quickly press a button on my multi-tool, and it's gonna reform into a like almost Mega Man type launcher. Just imagine just like a big old fucking fist-sized cannon on me. I'm gonna load it into there. I'm gonna go to shoot it at this thing's face with my catapult spell.
Wonderful.
And let's see the actual roll for that. Loading. Okay. So it needs to make a dexterity save to avoid it, and the DC for that is 14.
Oh yeah, it does not.
Okay,
I
awesome.
understand these are virtual dice, but I think I'm gonna retire this guy. He's rolling real shit for me.
That's how I feel about some of mine too.
How do we
Okay,
make a
so-
virtual dice joke?
This new one likes me.
Yeah, don't use that one. So that was a total of 16 damage from the 3d8 from the knife
damn.
just getting launched straight into its skull, preferably the eye hole.
Yeah, you shoot it out, and the thing is opening up its mouth, anticipating the bite it's gonna rain down on you guys once it's just a little bit closer, and you aim this thing right into the back of its throat, and it recoils and just screams as it just starts this disgusting coughing noise.
Excellent. That's good. While gross, that's good. And then as it's kind of roiling about, I'm gonna glance over at Gary and give him a little nod, and he's gonna give a small little robotic meow and refresh everyone's shields once again. And so that is, what roll was that again? That is a 1d8, I believe, right? I had it. Oh yeah, 1d8. Okay, just want to make sure I'm not rolling too high. More 1d8. And so it's going to overwrite everyone's old shields if they still had one, so you now have a 7 health shield. I think that's actually the same it was before, but yeah, 7 HP shield refreshed on everyone in the area. I don't think that's actually only gonna reach over to Vol. It's not gonna reach the people on the rock from where I'm standing.
All right. Duly
Okay.
noted.
That's the end of my turn.
All right, Finn, you are currently pulled to your shoulder down in the muck. This thing is grabbing at your arm, its nails digging in slightly. Before the rest of your turn, go ahead and roll an opposed strength check to try to release the grapple.
13.
Ooh, yeah, no, it wants you bad. It keeps a hold. The nails don't dig in any further, but it starts pulling you farther into the muck. now it's past your shoulder, part of your torso's in there. Your head's still above enough to breathe, but pretty much only your legs and partial movement with your left arm is still possible.
So I'm going to try to pull myself up a little bit and try to rip at the fingies.
All right, roll a standard attack for that. Roll with
Disadvantage?
disadvantage, yeah.
And that's still 16.
Wow.
22.
Yeah, roll damage.
Six damage.
All right. You end up just kind of thrashing the arm that's still under there. You try to pull up, but you can't get it far enough to get at it with your other hand. So you thrash the hand that's still down there, and you find something knobby to latch onto, and you just feel a crack under your fingers. It's still holding on, but you felt like you did some damage. All right. Let's see. We're going to be moving on to Ketetra. She is going to stand up, and with her belt dagger, she's going to stab under the muck at what's holding Finn. And she misses. Back to Looney.
Okay, so this time there will be no incredulous insult coming from me, as Looney will drop down and begin to whisper in random half phrases, is looking directly at the creature, as I'm casting Dissonant Whispers, which will be a Wisdom save of 13.
Oof. It succeeds.
It does succeed. And with that, I will use a bonus action to give Fenric a D6 on an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
All right, wonderful. All right, it is this creature's turn, and it finally gets within range. As it finishes its coughing fit, it slushes forward through the muck, and then it just rips its head down on Ketetra.
I don't like that.
She dodges out of the way as this thing's teeth just slam into the muck and just dig this giant rut, and it just is sloughing out of its mouth as it keeps its head, open and stares back down at her again.
Gross.
All right. Oh, sorry, what's up?
I just said gross.
Oh, accurate. One arm is going to be attacking Vol.
Excellent.
Does a 21 hit you? I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Yeah, a 21 does it.
All right. See, the closer it gets, it can just see you better.
Yeah.
All right. That is going to be 10 damage as it reaches down and finally finds a purchase through your armor, just kind of sinking its nails in, right on the front of your chest piece, and then just pulls itself underground. Rolling a opposed strength check.
Oh. I'm great at strength. Yeah, that doesn't do it.
Yeah, so it pulls you face first into the mud. It kind of sinks part of your torso in, and your shoulders get a little bit pinned, but you're able to hold your head up and still be able to breathe outside of the muck.
Okay.
The other arm is going to try to pull you down one more, Fenric. All right, roll an opposed strength. And remember, you have a D6 you can use that Looney gave you.
I also was looking up my rage, and I get advantage to all strength checks.
Oh, should have had that in account earlier. I apologize.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until I was like, hey, I think there's something extra I get for this.
Yeah.
Nice,
18.
consistent.
Consistency. So that's going to be 21.
Beautiful. As this thing, you end up cracking something while your hand was under there, and it goes to yank you down one more time. It kind of pulls you a little bit, and you kind of sputter in the mud, but you plant your other arm, and you rip your arm out, still holding that finger that you end up breaking off while it was under there.
I'm going to wave the finger at it.
This thing howls in pain. It is angry as it whips its head back, and you feel the mud shift under beneath you. This thing is not looking good, guys.
Now let's pretty
Good.
gross.
I'm okay with that.
All right. See, Calietra, she's still eyes fluttering, sitting up on that rock, and she's still conscious. She's a trooper, guys.
I'm gonna do a DC concentration check real quick
Go for it.
because I'm concentrating on my shield of faith, and I failed that, by the way. So, yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, as it pulls you down and your head hits the muck, your spell was lost, unfortunately.
Ow.
I'm mad.
Oh. All right. So as she's still, bleeding over the rock and eyes fluttering, she looks up, pulls her hand up again, and shoots that beam that she's been shooting directly at the thing's head. And she hits. It barely grazes the top of its head, though. All right, and Vol.
All right. I'm not feeling it, guys. I'm just not feeling it.
All right, so you do have the option to make an opposed strength check to break the grapple.
No, I'm going to do guiding bolt.
All right, you shooting it at the creature that's holding you, or the head?
I'm gonna do it at the creature that's holding me. Hard to miss. Okay, so I'm going to do that real quick. I'm gonna make a ranged attack, and I killed myself.
Oof. Go ahead and, due to the circumstances, go ahead and roll damage, and then take half of that as it backfires into the muck. You tried to aim to where its fingers were gripping your chest piece, but you just had too much muck in front of your hands, and it just backfires into your palm.
Okay.
Oh no. That's a lot of dice.
Oh, that did a lot more damage than I thought that did.
However, I am immune to radiant damage, resistant to radiant damage, so I would take half of the half.
Beautiful.
We planned for this.
All right, anything else you want to do with your turn, Vol?
No, I think my turn's over. I think I'm done. I'm gonna moan in the dirt.
All right, Till.
As a free action, I just want to observe again. So we have one hand grappling both Vol and Fen, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and
I am not
actually,
grappled
Finn
anyway.
just broke out. Yeah.
you just broke out. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and okay. How? So I don't know what your current health total is. So I'm just gonna make a observe, I'm gonna try to observe how Vol is looking in terms of how close to death they are. Because their situation looks scary to me from over here. So do I need to roll for that?
Go ahead. I think you've got visual on him. He's covered in muck, but it shouldn't be too bad. Vol, in a above half health to below half health kind of scenario, where are you sitting?
How much damage did I take the first time? I can't remember. I was keeping track of it, but
I believe it was 10 damage on the first hit. Let me check on the.
And you had a 7 health shield too, for the first hit and for the second hit,
oh, okay.
because it got refreshed in between.
Looking great.
Looking good. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, I'm gonna grab a screwdriver of mine and I'm gonna load it into my cannon again and launch it directly at this thing's face again to see what I can do to get this thing the hell away from me, because I am not feeling so great about being next to this thing. You know what? First, I'm going to try to back away. I don't know if it's going to be able to hit me or not, but I wouldn't know anyway. So I'm going to back away a couple steps and then turn around to fire at it. Does it get an attack of opportunity on me?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
All right, it's going to be biting back down at you. It is furious with the turn of events. All right, does a 20 hit you?
In reaction to that, Gary's going to cast shield on me, so no, it won't.
Okay, perfect. So it bites down, and you are pretty much almost look at your end as its mouth just closes down around you, and instead of swallowing you whole, its front incisors were just going to crush the top half of you, and Gary's burst of energy pops it back open enough for you to keep running back.
I'm going to pet Gary. That was a good job. Okay, so I turn, and just as I escape its mouth, I'm going to try to fire back into it. Let's see how this hits. Where's my dice I was using? I want to try to reuse these guys. Oh, I can't actually grab it. Okay, new dice it is. Ha! That is a 14 to hit.
It does not, actually.
Damn. I must have been rattled.
To whip its head to the side as it recognizes the horrible thing you shot it with earlier.
I need to get my screwdriver back later, wherever the hell that was in the muck. Okay, cool. Then that's the end of my turn. Before I go, I will actually have Gary refresh the shields one more time, and this will hit only myself and the people on the rock. So,
right,
real quick, rolling for that. That's a 9 total HP shield for all of us refreshed. All right, cool. That's it.
All right, it's down to Finn. You are in face-to-face boxing range with this thing, and it's not looking like it's doing too well.
I'm gonna punch the crap out of it. Nat 20, baby.
Ooh, yeah, roll your damage twice.
That's 5. And 9. This isn't an actual.
Yeah, you're fine.
So altogether, that's a 14.
So this is a foregone conclusion, but just for dramatic effect, go ahead and roll your second hit.
Thank you, advantage. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
All right, roll for damage on that one too.
8.
All right, you end up, as it's still slightly pulling back from trying to bite Till, you reach up and you just clock it in one of its eyes, and you feel a satisfying pop under your fist. And then with the second hit, you punch it in the side of the jaw, and its lower jaw hinge just cracks and moves sideways as this thing collapses to the muck and stops moving. Ooh. The arm that was attacking Vol suddenly slacks, and you're able to pull yourself out of the muck.
Very nice. I'm gonna stop my concentration on the spell.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Nice work,
Excellent.
Thanks, that was really gross.
Ben.
Just gonna lay on the ground upset.
Agreed.
I'm gonna just like shoot a flame bolt at its head, like double tap kind of deal. Assuming we're in free movement now.
Oh yeah, everyone's in free movement.
It's like for surely not moving, right? I don't know.
You shoot it and there's not even a single twitch. This thing looks pretty messed up. You guys did a number on this thing.
Okay. I need help finding my screwdriver. Seriously, like I have no idea where the hell it went in all this mud. Can people help me look real quick?
I'm done.
Okay. I'm legitimately gonna roll for this because I have no idea how in a real life situation I would be able to find a screwdriver in a land of mud. That's a 1.
5.
Oh yeah, you I'm gonna say you don't even move very far. You kind of like you look around the body of the creature, and then as you look up at just the fields of this disgusting muck around you, and realizing that you're already like ankle to knee deep in this thing, you're like, oh, I'm never finding that thing.
I was also gonna look, and I got a 19.
All right, what was your total?
19, I believe. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
All right. I'm gonna say it's gonna take you a while, but you might end up finding it depending on how much time you're willing to allocate.
Ooh, 21. No, never mind. I got 21.
All right, so you start searching around, and I'm gonna say, while everyone's gathering their wits about them and trying to like, get back to a sense of normalcy, you're able to find it over by one of the somewhat piece of plant life over here. Seems to have lodged itself into the bark.
When you find it, I am currently raging about how it was my favorite. I'm extremely sad right now. Like on the verge of tears. That was my favorite screwdriver.
So while you guys are dealing with that, Ketetra runs over to her sister, who, after the excitement of battle has passed out. She is bleeding profusely over the rock and does not seem to be moving.
Oh, that's more important. Gonna just pocket that screwdriver.
I'm just crying about a screwdriver.
I love your guys' priorities here.
Yes. This is accurate.
I'm gonna lay on hands on this. There's what is it? Healing hands. I'm gonna restore 3 hit points to her.
All right, so it seems like the bleeding seems to staunch a bit, and you can see some of the caustic muck seep out of the wound as it's healing up. But you are worried about doing any further healing, as it seems to not be healing the muscle together. It seems like fixing the core root of this injury may need a little bit more than standard healing spells.
Oh snap!
Oh.
I don't know any more than that.
At this point, I feel like I would notice that there's something going on beyond my screwdriver, and I would be concerned, but unsure what to do. Can I turn to whatever the hell the other person's name was and ask them if they know a way to solve this injury?
Unfortunately, she's the healer, not I. But we should really move on. These things, the muck demons, they generally move in pairs. I don't know where the other one is, and we've gotten lucky so far.
You waited till right now to mention that. Seriously? Like, let's go. Do we leave her? We're leaving her, right?
I'm gonna pick her up.
Yeah, we're not leaving her.
Oh, okay, whatever.
We must hurry. And she kind of like picks up her astrolabe with shaking hands and says, I think, all right, we need to continue. There's a few more things we have to get through before we get to our destination, and maybe we can figure out what to do there, but we need to keep moving.
Then move we shall.
All right, and with that, she ends up heading off in a presumably northward direction, as you guys have seemed to lose all sense of orientation since being in the plains.
What do you mean? I have a compass right there.
And with that, we will be moving boards again.
Excellent.
All right.
And I think that this
It is about time.
Yes, I think it is.
All right, so I'm going to hand off the reins over here to Matt as we are going to be giving away our first dice tower.
Giveaway.
Yeah. Let me just put some stuff up on the screen. Please bear with me. I was prepared for this. 100%.
Oh wow, this is the first chance I've actually gotten to look at chat. It's been popping in there. It's exciting.
Hell yeah. It is. Are they gravity defying?
They
Because
are
they're
in
currently
fact.
upside down.
Oh no, they're just regular dice towers.
There
Let me just put it right there. There we go. Okay. So this is the first one that we're giving away. It is going to be the small one. It's going to come with those dice. Also dice tower dice giveaway because I'm not a monster. And drum roll please. Get that chat going. Spam until Nightbot stops you.
Yeah, reading over this, it definitely looks like we might have to tone down Nightbot a little bit.
Yeah, our Nightbot's a little upset.
A little trigger happy there.
The Overlord.
All right, let's go for it. Salty Sam. Is that one of us? I don't know.
I would say Salty Sam say something in chat, but they just did.
Woo! Congrats.
Yay. Feel free to send us a message and I'll send it out.
All right, yeah, we'll get all those details ironed out after the stream, and hopefully you will be a proud owner of a new dice tower. It'll be wonderful.
I just watched Betty Maru put clapping hands in the chat and automatically deleted.
Nightbot's getting
Beautiful.
too powerful.
Nightbot's the final boss. It's canon.
Oh,
Please. That would
Everyone,
be
please try to
amazing.
clap quieter.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you could keep it down. Nightbot's trying to sleep.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I am fully aware of who the Salty Sam is. We'll iron out those details and get that to you soon.
That's wonderful. Maybe I can save on some postage.
Sadly not. There's totally going to be postage on this one.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I think the question is, Matt, is there going to be a giveaway for the large dice tower as well at another date?
We will be giving away the large dice tower at the end of the stream.
Excellent.
Beautiful. So everyone, make sure to stay around for that. It'll be fun. It's like the small dice tower, but bigger.
Bigger.
But bigger. And it has the encounter table logo emblazoned on it, upon its front. It's really hard to see.
So fancy. All
Look at
right.
that.
So I totally should have been spending this time setting up the next board. So bear with us while the next board gets taken care of.
What have you been doing? Enjoying
Um,
chat?
Yes,
Interacting with
I am
chat, Matt.
enjoying mingling with our fans.
Yes. our
How
fans.
dare you?
Just enticing people. This is a good look.
They do sound very cool when you drop dice in them. That's very valid.
Clank, 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 clank.
Yeah, the finishing on those does look really good, Matt.
Thank you. And they will also be available on the Etsy store for Bade Makeup.
Yeah, while I'm totally doing the setup that I should have done a while back, you should tell them about your Etsy shop.
It sells dice towers and some other things. It's great. I actually restock it. Small Etsy store. Been working on it for a couple of years, kind of in the background. I make everything in-house and ship it Wherever Etsy will let me.
And for those who want links to that, all that's down in the description below,
It is.
including our Discord as well, if you want to join there.
Also, the link to the artist, the Discord, and my shop are all in the About section, so you can find everybody.
All right, so it looks like we should be good on the board setup.
Okay.
All right, so continuing with our narrative.
Ooh, I
Guys
like the
have
music here.
traveled out of the infernal plane and have moved on into a large swath of the elemental plane of Earth. You're in an area of rolling volcanic hills with canyons and bluffs sticking out of everywhere. You haven't seen a spot of water in minutes, so you are still covered in muck and rather dehydrated from the journey. Finn, you are still carrying Caliestra, who has not woken up yet, but the bleeding has stopped due to the help of Vol. Katetra is guiding you guys north as you guys come up behind a rock, as a deep ravine below you seems to have smoke coming out. You guys hear a faint murmur of chatter.
What's going on over there?
I'm gonna kind of get my pistol ready to go, as experiences so far haven't really put me in a great mood, nor a trusting mood.
Katetra looks at you all and says, This isn't one of our camps. Generally, we try to avoid areas like this due to the unpredictable rock slides. I don't know who could be in that camp over there.
So remind me, why are we here then, rather than whatever path you usually go?
I'm gonna set Katetra down and do a little sneaky sneak over to the edge to look over.
Replying to Till, she says, well, traveling through usually isn't an issue. It's camping here that is usually the issue. There's a place that we sometimes camp just beyond the edge of this elemental plane of Earth.
Okay, so we just need to get through this. Okay. I'm gonna follow Fen, and just be at the ready for anything.
I rolled
Bad.
a 10 for sneak.
All right, I'm going to make some rolls here real quick. Oh!
I don't like
Well,
this. I don't
I
like
mean,
the
that's-
number of rolls.
That's one way to find out who's over there.
Yeah, Till, you said you're following up too, right?
Yeah, but observing the my large companion's sneaking skills, I'm not gonna bother to try.
All right, well, you guys are going to move up, and
What are you talking about? I'm great at sneaking.
Yeah.
looking down into the area, let's try this little doohickey out that I've attempted. There you go. Oh, 1 second. Vol, is your
You gotta move me over
are the
there.
minis functioning on your screen?
We have to be able to see them with our minis for them to load in for us.
Ah. I should probably find a way to turn off that ability.
Alternatively, you can maybe like give us all control of like the campfire or something maybe later on, and that would probably let us see them as well for a
Alright.
quick way to do that.
So for now, I'm gonna just transfer over some player permission to Vol on one of the
I can
people
see them
down
too.
here. And just to be sure, you should be able to see everyone there. All right, cool. Just try not to move them if you can. All right, so looking down into the ravine, you see 4 very oddly dressed individuals. They seem to be wearing, mottled garb of various colors, almost like you would see in a bandit camp, ruffled and torn. But oddly enough, each of these people seem to be created of a base element, almost like an elemental. But instead of the raw, elemental bestial forms that you're familiar with, they look decidedly human.
And is this just Fen and I seeing this, or is the whole party over here looking down on this?
It would just be Finn and you as you guys have come up to the edge here.
Okay.
They seem to be discussing things amongst each other. There's one created purely out of the essence of fire on the far end, wearing a vest and various bandanas that seem to not burn at his touch. But what is burning at his touch are various papers he's pulling out of this leather satchel, holding up in the air and then burning as he's throwing them to the side, saying, "All of this stuff is useless. What are we going to do with all this? This means nothing to me."
Quite the burning question.
The one of water on the far end says, these are things that other humans care about. I know they don't affect us now, but we should get used to what they carry with them. Later we'll have to learn to read sometime.
Yes, fellow human.
Right around that time, as the other two go like they're going to say something, the one that seems to be completely transparent, covered in mist and almost cloud, stops and instantly looks up directly at Finrick, as the large one made of stone continues to be oblivious and says, "But those things on the papers are so hard. They're so small." The ephemeral air-like one seems to look at the rest of the group and go, "Shh, I think I hear something."
Do I know that they noticed me, or is it like...
Oh yeah,
She's been pretty obvious about it.
Yeah, she's eyeballing you. She says she only heard something, but she's looking right into your eyes at the moment.
I'm gonna be
Very
like,
subtle.
"Yeah, totally just heard me."
At that, the other two seem to whip around and look up at you guys, and the one of fire ends up just erupting into larger flames, saying, "Show yourselves!"
I'm gonna stand up, I guess. I wasn't.
Yeah, I'm
sneaking
not
very
trying to
good.
hide myself. I'm mildly
Um,
offended that they can't see me at this point, if that's the case. Like,
I'm gonna be like, "So I can teach you how to read."
I'm just gonna say howdy, hello, and I'm just gonna try to stick my hand up really high and like wave over the rock, like I'm here.
The one of flame continues to erupt. Let me get flying on this as he. Come on. Sorry, getting flying to work properly.
From what I hear, flying's always difficult from the first time. So
There we go. As he goes up into the air and hovers over the gorge next to you.
oh, hello, hi. Yeah, now you can see me, right? I'm not that hard to see. I'm really not.
So what did you guys think you were going to accomplish sneaking up on us like this?
We just heard people, and I wanted to make sure that you weren't hostile, which apparently you are.
Yeah, usually the goal is just not to get seen or heard. I don't know how you sneak, but that's just what I do when I'm trying. But to be honest, I wasn't really trying that badly, so the fact that you still couldn't see me is kind of embarrassing for you. Like, you have to fly high into the air to get a perspective on me? Come on, that's just cheating.
Can I
So,
hear any of that?
You come here to insult us? You come here to do what? As he's erupting more into flame, staring at you guys. You are in our territory. You are where we're from. You think you can do anything in this area without our permission?
Okay, so first off, you're making a lot of assumptions here, and I'm just gonna kind of try to like speak down to the anyone down below that seems not visibly angry at me, and say, does anyone else want to try to handle this conversation? Because Temper Tantrum here seems to be having a problem with us for absolutely no reason at all.
I guess you can say he's a little hot-headed.
Yeah.
Can I hear this?
Oh yeah. You guys can see and hear this whole situation.
Oh shit.
Here, let me move Till all the way over here.
Gonna step over and be like, before things get too heated, maybe we could, sit down and talk about this.
I'm gonna just run over there like, whoa, wait. What's going on?
Angry spicy boy is getting angry.
I'm sorry.
So-
Our short guy has a short temper. You know how it is.
All right. So, with that being said, the what seems to be the air elemental flies over and kind of like puts a bit of a misty wind wall between you guys and the fire elemental and says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, our illustrious leader here also seems to have a short temper. But," as she like eyeballs them, "none of their stuff is useful to us if it's burnt." She looks back at you guys and says, "I'm not sure how this has gotten away from us in this situation, but the fact is clear that you are in our territory. Thus, you owe us a spot of protection, you could call it."
I'm gonna glance over at Vol and just like kind of like, I'm just gonna real quick. You're not sure how this got away from you, really? I mean, and I just kind of like gesture at the flying hot boy here. Like just maybe you said he's your leader. Like maybe reconsider, your structure of leadership.
I'm just gonna put. Vol's just gonna put his hand over Till's mouth.
Not again.
I
So
think
preemptively, also in the same situation, she raises her wind wall again as he just like starts spewing fire in every direction as he's just unintelligibly yelling.
Come now. Let's hopefully we can blow this conversation into a different direction, and just get back to, just trying to figure this out.
After this third pun, the air elemental kind of gives you an odd look and a raised eyebrow and a slight smile.
I just give a little, like a small curtsy and a toothy grin.
While having her wind wall still up until he, controls his flame, she actually pulls one of her daggers off of her belt and kind of spins it in her hand while looking at you guys. Well, to get down to business, we are in the business of protecting people, of allowing people to go through these planes untouched. So, with a bit of a fee, you guys can get through without being assaulted by, various dangers that might be here. Say, elementals of some sort, or bandits. And she says this with a bit of a quirky smile on her face.
Vol is just gonna look in the pit, look up at them, look at the pit, look up at them. What kind of fear are we talking about here?
She gets this big grin on her face. She's like, "Oh, not too steep. Most people are able to handle it, I guess, if they're wealthy." And then she kind of looks at them all super proud of herself and like she's got you guys by the reins and says, 5 gold.
I ain't got no money.
I quickly will take the reins here. I'm like, that sounds amenable. We could definitely provide that for you.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for people who are doing. I'm gonna make eye contact with Vol, and I'm just gonna shut up.
I'm gonna look at her and say, I don't really have any money, but you can have anything in my backpack.
Oh, it seems like your well-dressed friend over there said you had the money, but you don't?
Well,
We are not
have
the same
money.
person, and I don't have money.
I mean, do you really expect one person to pay for all of us? That's a very unfair system of whatever you do, manship.
Well, I mean, it's not an elegant art. As long as we get the money, you all don't get harmed. So if our well-worded and well-mannered friend back there would like to hand over the money, this can all be behind us.
So wait. That sounds a little bit more like a threat now. Before we had like a contract going, but what you just said sounded more like you were gonna be the one hurting us. Sounds more like highway robbery now.
Oh, well, I mean, things happen, and there are very dangerous elementals and bandits around the area. I just feel like there can be things that happen when we're not here to protect you.
Wait, there's dangerous
I mean-
elemental bandits around? I'm not seeing any.
Vol's just gonna.
She gives you a wry smile, but the fire elemental does not seem too happy about that comment.
Vol's just gonna pull out 6 gold and be like, "Here, just we're good. Just."
I will drop the, like, looking at the 6 gold, I will drop the rest in with it.
Hey, I heard that you guys couldn't read. In exchange for that, I can teach you how to read.
Barbarians don't know how to read these days. What's the world coming
Song kind of like quirks her eyebrow up at you. Pit gets, sorry, name dropping here. The elementals.
to?
The fire elemental gets very angry and with an outburst of like, I don't need anything from people like you. Whereas Song just kind of, the air elemental, puts her hand on him and says, I appreciate the offer, but we have other things and other business to take care of.
Wait, but that's counterintuitive because you are asking for money from us. Do you not need that?
Oh, we need the money. We just don't need the tutelage that you are offering. We have other people in need of protection that we need to speak to.
Oh wait, really? You just let your friend not be able to read? Do you really not care about this person? Come on.
She kind of gives a quirked eye at you and says, do you have any business staying with us? I believe you wouldn't you rather be moving on? It's a rather dangerous area to be staying around in.
Well, you said for yourself that there's lots of dangerous people around. I mean, we could protect you. You know those, I don't know what the hell to call those things, but we just fought a big old monster that was grabbing us and clawing at us, had a big weird looking face, and was trying to eat us, and we've kind of handled it no problem. I mean, not a single death on our side. So, I mean, it seems like we're the ones that would be able to protect you from whatever danger is happening around here. And, on the side, you can get some free education. It seems like a really good deal for you. And considering you're such a talented and capable leader, obviously, I feel like you would be able to recognize that. I don't know.
Right around that time,
Oh.
you see a stony head poke up right in front of you. Very crag-like features. This is obviously some form of earth elemental. Again, covered in robes and bandanas. It seems like his large frame couldn't fit most clothing, so it seems like most of it is makeshift at best. He kind of takes a big breath in through his nose and looks up at them and says, yeah, I think they might have had a run-in with that stinky thing in the mud.
It was very stinky. You are very astute, my friend.
Vol's just gonna look at all the mud all over his clothing. Yeah, you think that might have been it?
I'm gonna try to stifle my laugh.
That thing's big and mean.
Was.
Maybe we shouldn't try to fight these guys.
Well, I thought you weren't trying to fight us because we paid you.
Well, yet to pay, right? We haven't handed over anything. And besides, I feel like we just identified the smartest member of your team.
With that, the fire elemental just immediately erupts in flame again, and the wind elemental, throws up her wall again.
I'm gonna glance over at the wind elemental and say, you two make a great team. The two of you together. Don't ever separate, otherwise, you might get into a dangerous situation.
Vol's gonna just look over at Finn and be like, hey, can you pack up our equipment? And we should head out. Kind of gesturing over at Till.
Wait, I thought we were teaching someone how to read. This is
I'm gonna
be
pick
fun.
up Bill.
Excuse me?
She looks over at her teammates and says, well, one of them seems to be a little bit of a lost cause, and the other one might not be the best student, looking at the fire elemental. I suggest we just exchange our finances and have you move along.
Yeah, how much are you paying us?
Pardon?
Well, we just established how kind of badasses we are. I mean, I mean, we could help you out if you just pay us a little bit. We'll make sure to clear out anything dangerous we see along the way in our destination. And if you pay us, we'll just make extra sure that they don't come your way. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And we don't ask too much. We don't want to rob your friend here of the opportunity to get real clothing.
I just like the image of him saying this while being like under Finn's arm.
I have very good posture despite being held.
I feel like I just picked you up from underneath the armpits.
Finn, you are continuing to carry Till away as this is being said, correct?
Yeah, I was walking back.
Song pipes up and says, "Oh, I believe no gold has changed hands. I can bring down this wind wall at a moment's notice."
I throw a bag full with the 20 gold in it down next to the fire.
Wait, why are we throwing such large amounts of gold? This upsets me.
The previously unspoken water elemental looks up and almost effortlessly just catches the projectile, kind of like weighs it in his hand and says, "I'd say they're paid up. I think we're fine."
I could double it if you'd be willing to come with us. Though that would be under the assertion that our parties do not rip each other apart.
No promises.
The wind elemental looks at the fire elemental and says, "Is this something you think you can handle?" And as his fire dies down, he says, "For that kind of money, I think I can." And then he eyeballs Till as he's looking over Finn's shoulder as Finn's walking him away. Says, "As long as that one can too."
Yeah, that one. Whoever that is. I'm going to pretend that I don't know who he's talking about.
All right, and with that, they're actually the water elemental is going to find his way all the way up. As will the rock elemental. Oh, sorry. Almost hit the wrong ability. And the wind elemental walks up to Looney and reaches out her hand. Says, "My name is Song, by the way. If we are to be accompanying you guys, I believe we should be on a first name basis."
Hello, Song. I am Looney.
"Well met. I've noticed you're rather good at wordplay. I believe we can get along."
Oh, I should hope so with a name such as that.
She smiles.
Get a room.
Oh, I see what's going on here.
She gestures back to the rest of her companions and says, "Well, these are my wonderful companions. Pit," pointing at the fire elemental, pointing at the water elemental, Lake, and pointing at the earth elemental, Cliff. We've been traveling for some time, and we believe this will be a wonderfully beneficial arrangement for both of us. Which direction are you going?"
That is something I do not know, and our guides, wherever they may be, would perchance have.
Katetra walks up and eyes these very suspiciously, and kind of with a reserved, I guess with a reserved voice says, "We're heading up north towards the locked plane of water." Eyeballing a couple of the other elementals, says, "As long as you guys can be fine with that." And Pit seems to nod affirmation.
I mean,
All right. Oh,
it
sorry.
should be fine, and with elementals on our side, we should be able to traverse the plains a little bit easier.
I think we were doing just fine before, but that's just my opinion.
All right. Song offers her hand out one more time, and she says, "All right. Well, before we proceed on, about payment."
Yes, I will pull out the next small bag that I had
Whoa.
been separating and drop it
Hold up
into their
here.
hand.
How about when we get there? Let's do payment after. Half now, half later. Let's not
That
be
is
stupid.
not the terms that were set upon.
We didn't. Well, oh, okay, fine. But if they betray us, I warned you.
That's okay. It is not your money that we are putting into this venture.
Damn straight.
All right. Song closes her hands along the bag and then shoots it behind her. Pit grabs it out of the air and kind of cackles a little bit, gives a sly side eye at Till and says, I think these terms are acceptable, even with argument. And kind of gives this like dismissive snort as he starts like opening the bag and ruffling his fingers through the coins.
I'm gonna set Till down.
Thank you.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna do anything. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Vol's
I'm
gonna keep
make
an eye
direct
out
eye
on him.
contact.
I'm
gonna-
imagine. Oh,
Mosey on over by Vol and say like, just wait till they're asleep. I'll take care of it.
All right. Lake walks over next to Ketetra and says, I think I can assist you in the navigation up to where we're going. We should be fine. All right. And with that, we will be changing boards one more time.
Back to our loading screen.
While we're walking, in whatever direction we're going, I do want to mosey up on aside the rock elemental and say, "Oh, your name was Cliff, right?"
Yes.
Nice. You know, I don't usually remember names, so I'm actually pretty proud of myself for that one. Self 5. So how long have you all been a group? Would you say?
As long as we could remember our
Good job.
memory minds. Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like if anyone should be leading the group, it should be the strongest, don't you think? And I mean, I don't know about you, but you seem like the strongest to me.
No.
What?
I like to do my own thing. I am an artist.
An artist, eh? What kind of art?
Punch.
Oh, I fucking love you.
You know, we are artists of the punch in many different ways. Our friend here literally punches people, while I punch people with ranged attacks. Yeah, ranged punches. They reach so far, I don't even need to get close to them. They're so fast. If
Punch
you'd
from
like,
far away.
yeah, we punch from real far away.
He seems
We,
to look at his fist very confused. Like this threw his whole world into chaos.
There's so much variety, and I feel like, if anyone on the team from your team would be the most useful to us. I mean, you could teach us a few things about punching, and maybe we could teach you a few things about ranged punching from far away. All you need to do is just join us. Don't worry about these guys.
No, those are my friends. I
Why?
like my friends.
All right, well, I guess I won't ask you twice, but just think about it.
So he looks around conspiratorially, and he leans down close to you. And in a slightly jarring way, he actually doesn't lower his voice in the slightest. He's still speaking in his fairly loud voice. But if we could convince Pitt, maybe you could be friends too.
I love you so much.
I'm gonna just kind of lean in close and just with the same exact volume. Which one's Pitt?
Fire.
I like the way you think, Rockman.
Me too.
Okay. Well, with that, I'm gonna just kind of think on that as we keep walking.
All right, so you guys, you traverse the elemental plane of Earth, and getting a few things set up here. My attention a little split. You guys get to the edge to a section of the elemental plane of water, which seems different than the others. there seems to be, instead of that large blue like film of light that goes between each of the elemental planes, it seems, instead of like rippling, it's static, almost like a bubble that's pushed to bursting. Instead of a wavy, like unsettled area, it oh, that's a mini from when I was creating earlier. Let me get rid of that guy. It is pushed to bursting, and along a permanently set up dock, you find a boat. Ketetra gets you guys all in, and a lot of the elementals actually fly alongside you as you guys go out to a floating city built along pillars out in the middle of the water. On your travels over here, you find that there are quite a few other of these little townships that you guys pass, but many are in very much disrepair. Most of them collapsed into the waters they sit upon. The one you come up to seems mostly untouched, though.
Well, this is pretty cool. Reminds me of the good old days on the sea. But different, I guess.
This is
I say Ketetra looks at you guys and says, "We can stay here and we'll be safe. Calietra won't be too happy once she wakes up, but it's the best we could do. This place is sacrilegious to our people, but it is safe."
Why is it sacrilegious?
The elemental lands are ever-changing and have a will of their own. During this conversation, the elementals seem to roll their eyes, and Pitt specifically kind of scoffs at the notion. But our forebears, a tribe that split off from our main group, decided that they have found a way to anchor these elemental planes in one spot, keep them from moving and ever-changing. And the wealth that it brought, the trade from the other nations, created dissension, and the tribe ended up tearing itself apart. We have absorbed a lot of the refugees after that incident, but the tribe itself has never recovered. All of their towns and mansions abandoned.
Interesting. Well, I'm just glad there's a place to stay. With that, I think we should go ahead and explore around and see what's going on.
All right, Ketetra ends up grabbing Calietra from the bottom of the boat.
Oh, I was going to carry her still.
Okay. She will actually follow you and direct you over to this covered pavilion, which seems like it used to have been a market.
I'm going to be conversing with Song about tales that they may have possibly picked up.
Is everyone teleporting?
Yeah, sorry. Moving minis along this area is a little difficult. I love Tailspire, but it's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
So notes to the
Who's
developer.
up here?
For our wonderful viewers, in case we haven't cued in on this before, all of our visuals have been done in Tailspire. Feel free to check it out. It's through Steam, and it is a wonderful DMing tool for building maps in a very visual sense. It is in early development, so a lot of the features aren't fully fleshed out, but they are constantly bringing out new resources, new things to do within the framework, and it is very fun. I was a little resistant at first as a homebrew DM myself, but it is a very not restrictive tool. Highly recommended.
And as an extra note on that, the characters are custom made using Hero Forge, which is a website where you can design your own mini to either be 3D printed and sent to you, or you can get the file to use for 3D printing, or in this case, importing it into Tailspire. So,
Yeah, it isn't a native function yet. There is a little bit of modding involved, but it's a not too labor intensive of a process. So definitely check it out.
So yeah, who's up here? What am I?
The elementals are going to follow you guys up there too. But as you walk up into this pavilion, it seems like this used to be a marketplace. In fact, there are still some products sitting on these shelves. Like, sorry. Pitt decided to take a dip.
Ha ha!
Of all three, that would be the one who really would not want to. Anyway, there's still rugs and various bottles and metal contraptions hung up along these tables. It seems like it was almost left untouched when the original denizens.
I'm gonna set. What's her name?
Calietra.
I'm gonna set Calietra on this like bench-looking dude.
Oh, and note to the players: if you guys ever are confused about names, I believe it works for you also. If you hold Shift, it should have all custom minis' names above their heads.
Not working for me.
Oop. Apparently, that only works in DM Slide. All right, I'll figure out a way for reference on that. That's a project for another time.
They look suspiciously close to what our avatars look like.
Almost as if they were made in Hero Forge.
Custom, maybe. Even. Also, I don't know if you guys caught this, but we made our minis in Hero Forge.
Hero Forge, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
God, do I wish.
So I'm gonna before I start actually speaking to him, I'm just gonna give everyone else a chance to do something since I've been kind of hogging the microphone, as it were. But I will start moving over towards Pitt here and just kind of mosey on up next to him.
All right, so we had Finn. You set Calietra down on one of the empty spaces of the tables. You said, correct?
Finn, you might be muted.
Sorry, I was reading the chat.
Oh, so you sat Calietra on one of the tables, correct?
Yes.
All right. Her sister comes over and begins looking over her, and motions to. Oh, sorry. Motions to Vol to come on over.
I levitate on over.
I believe you've mentioned that you have some skill in healing magic, correct?
I do. I can actually. I meant to do this on the road, but I can try a few things, including blessing. But I haven't seen this before, so I don't know the effect it'll have.
Yes, please try to heal as much as you can. I'm worried for her state of mind. I know she has some magics herself as a healer that might be able to fix this situation, but without her conscious, I don't know what we can do. I think stopping the bleeding and getting the infection out might be the first step along that way.
I'm gonna is this like salt water or like regular water? I was going to taste it to find out.
Yeah, go ahead. Down by the dock, you are definitely within hand's reach of the water. In fact, the water licks up over the wooden planks of the dock quite often.
Okay. I am going to cast Cure Wounds.
All right, roll for it.
Oh, I will.
While this is happening, Gary the cat will hop up on the table and nuzzle up next to her, and we'll just like purr and softly pulse like a small shield of protection around her.
Yeah, the shield envelops her, and it seems to the damage along the back of the calf. It definitely kind of ripples in there, giving you a visual indication that is not going to be healing very nice at all. It seems like the body is already reacting as the torn muscle being as part of it.
There's a total of 4, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, the bleeding completely stops. You can see that the bandages that you guys very hastily wrapped around it seem to slack slightly as some of the muscle does end up knitting together a little bit. And a lot of the muck oozes out, and from what you can tell and your knowledge of healing, it seems like all of the impurities have seeped out of the wound.
I'm gonna roll to taste the water.
I'm not sure if you need a roll for it, but let's do a
Fuck.
nat one. All right. So, Ketetra is cut off as she was about to say something, as this large splash happens behind you guys, and Finric plunges into the water. Can your character swim? I think swim isn't a skill in this anymore, so I'll leave it up to you for flavor text wise.
Can I roll for dexterity?
Yeah.
Oh, we will kill ourselves today.
I can swim.
All right, you are able to keep yourself afloat. Let me see if I can find your mini. There you are.
Oh, I just yeeted myself in the water. I'll be alright.
Give me 1 second.
Sorry.
If you hold control, you should be able to affect your elevation now. I enabled flying. There you go.
That works pretty well. I'm gonna yell
seems like-
over at Fen. Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm doing alright.
Yeah, good.
Is it salt?
Cliff-
Is it salt water or is
Oh.
it?
It is definitely salt water. You got plenty in your mouth when you went in.
It's very salty water.
That's interesting.
Cliff gets this almost confused, excited look on his face and says, "We can do that?" as he plunges into the water himself. It just immediately sinks.
Oh, baby boy, no.
I'm gonna look over at Pitt and it's like, well, I noticed you're not doing anything right now, Pitt.
He raises his eyebrow at you. As you walked up, he had this very happy, like almost like, it's the same kind of look that you used to get when new people would show up on the boat you used to work on. That just excited look of adventure on their face, which is duly interrupted by you walking up, and he looks annoyed and raises his eyebrow at you.
Is he gonna be okay?
Lake looks at you and says, "He should be fine. I don't
Okay.
believe he needs to breathe. I might need to go down and retrieve him later, though."
Can I? Does he look like he's having fun down there?
He immediately sat down and just seems to be enjoying the ambiance of whatever is under the water.
I'm gonna swim to the bottom and look for rocks.
There's a very large one. down
Other
there
than
named
the
Cliff.
large sentient rock.
I will look over at Pitt and I will ask the ultimate question that will tell what kind of person Pitt is.
Mhm.
Do you like cats?
He looks very confused. A what?
I'm gonna turn and point over at Gary on the table. Those.
I assumed that was some kind of contraption. I've seen similar things in people's carts before. I didn't know it was called a cat.
Oh, they vary. Some look pretty similar. Usually they have fur. You know what that is, right? Fur?
Theoretically.
It's like fire, but it
concept.
doesn't hurt so much.
Yeah. And it's really soft to pet. That's the one thing that Gary doesn't have. But, yeah, these otherwise are pretty accurate portrayal of a cat, in my opinion. He does a good job. Yeah, I mean, I guess the real question is, do you like Gary?
He kind of shrugs and kind of like begins to notice what Gary is doing with the injured person already. And just says, "Well, it seems useful. Does it move on its own?"
And I go ahead and call Gary and tell him to come over here real quick to demonstrate that he does move on his own. He listens to commands and such, but he's got a mind of his own. I mean, for example, in the last battle we just fought against the mud monster, or whatever you want to call it, yeah, he saved my life.
I mean, an ally's an ally, and if he travels with you, it could be a friend. He kind of like kneels down and like looks at it and goes to like touch it. Now that you're close, you actually realize that as he goes to touch Gary, the flames, making up his whole body, they're not wreathing any physical form. He is made up of the flames. But they seem to dull to a lower heat and don't begin to lick up off of his fingers as he goes and kind of just lightly touches Gary's head.
In response, Gary would glow from the gem in the middle of his chest. as well as his eyes, a soft light green glow as he makes a weird mechanical imitation of a purr. With that, I would smile and nod approvingly down at Pitt.
He kind of smiles back and says, well, I guess if we're stuck being allies, we can be amiable.
Don't go too far there, pal. But I'm glad that you like Gary. He seems fond of you.
All
Will's gonna
right. Is
nod
anyone
and-
else doing anything?
I was
I'm
gonna
looking for
nod and
rocks.
smile at this interaction where people aren't trying to kill each other as he stands over this person who's dying on a table.
Yeah, you notice that after Pitt's temper recited, he seems like a fairly decent person. He seems to smile a lot, and as you guys were traveling, he definitely seems to have a deep-seated wanderlust. He's always very excited to be at the front of the group and see what's over the next rise.
Hmm.
All right,
Not too
so
dissimilar.
Finn, you were saying you were looking for rocks.
Roll 12 to find rocks.
Add your perception.
I rolled a 13 to find rocks.
Beautiful. Down there, as odd as it sounds, you actually find quite a bit of sand and rocks. And as you get near some of the posts, there isn't much plant life, but you do see fish. Contrary to the other sections of the elemental plane of water you've gone through, which were mainly shallow areas, it seems like this has a full ecosystem below it.
Nice.
Looney, what are you up to?
I was trying to chat with Song.
Oh, yes, I apologize. I got distracted by the excitement of Finn dropping in the water. And then the subsequent cannonball of Cliff. Song is very excited and has been chatting with you about very odd concepts of stories. It seems like Song's conception of music is more of, I guess thematically, the sound of the wind. And the song that gets created when it blows through certain areas, through leaves, through, crags of rocks that are able to make a note. And so her stories are more descriptions of places than anything else.
With this new perspective on telling a story and the way music is used by her, I'm taking note of this and trying to imitate it, as well as sharing stories of places I've been and how I use my fiddle to play music.
Oh, she seems very excited by the fiddle and is intrigued by your stories and begins to try to imitate your stories a little bit after a while, telling stories of things that they have done and places they have been, while also showing you how she makes music by creating intricate paths of wind tunnels between her hands and by letting out what is similar to a breath, and it sounds almost like singing.
Quite astonishing.
In the middle of this, she does tell you stories, and you kind of get a little bit of gleaning of how these have been spending their time. She talks about how they run into caravans on the edge of the plane-touched land sometimes, and they will go out past the plane-touched lands to, talk to them. And she tells you about one of the first times they ever went out. They found this group of people with a downtrodden horse and cart that tried to extort them for money. And that is where they gained most of their personal belongings, actually. They fought back, were able to best these bandits, and decided to take up the trade.
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say that is a trade, but you made pretty well with what you could.
She smiles. She's like, but they were the only people that weren't tethered anywhere. They were the only people who could go and be free and live in a wide open place like this. So we learned that that is how you humans survive like this. She kind of like looks at the rest of her elementals and gets a sad look on her face, and she says, we are new to this. The four of us have all been cut off from our elemental planes. We don't know how, but we've become our own identity, and we're trying to figure this whole thing out. We want to go and we want to become part of this human society, but we have a long way to go before we can do that. So in the meantime, we're getting gold, we're getting possessions and learning, so we can eventually. And then right about that time, Lake walks up and kind of like puts a hand on her shoulder and says, we're making do, and kind of cuts her off from her story.
Well, making do is perfectly fine. It is what most people are able to do in their lives. It is actually quite the equal experience that you are having. There is no manual on it. There is only trying to figure out what you want in this world.
Song kind of like nods and looks like she's going to go and continue, but Lake kind of like looks at her again and gives you a sad, almost rueful smile as he says, I think me and Song are going to explore the rest of this platform and see what we can find. We'll speak to you later.
I nod and I make my way over to see how the guide is doing.
Lake and Song end up going like they're gonna check out one of the other platforms and seem to be having a hushed and hurried conversation once they get near out of earshot. All right, back to Vol. What are you doing?
Well, how's she looking? I've just been kind of tending to the wounds and keeping everything up, keeping her alive.
Go ahead and roll a medicine check.
I'm gonna fail that. Where is that? Is there actually a medicine check? Oh, yep, there is. Oh, I might be okay at that.
I do want to move over and offer any assistance via tools or otherwise to Vol's healing process here.
You do always have the tools at hand. I believe. Would you be proficient in a healer's kit technically?
No, only crafting kits and specifically smithing and carpenter kits are ones that I can use. I can use any kit to make something though. So if you need a healing tool created, I could make that, but I wouldn't be able to use the tool.
All right. Well, judging by your role, Vol, with your background and where you come from, you didn't really get a lot of use out of practical hands-on healing. So you did a little bit of the basics. You cleaned the wound manually with what clean water you guys did have in your water skins, and you rewrapped it with clean bandages. But you weren't able to do much past that. And with your magical healing, she seems stable but not quite awake. And Ketetra says, well, I think at this point we probably just need to wait. She's in a better position and we're in a safe area, so we have the time now.
Do I, with my knowledge of medicine and magic medicine, do I feel that healing her more, using more magic, would help her?
Unfortunately not. It seems like the physical ailments have been cured to the best of your ability at this time, and the only thing is to wait for her mental stability to come back. It seems like she was rather addled by the extreme pain and the fatigue of the whole situation.
Well, I am going to do one last thing, and that is I'm going to bless her. It gives her an extra D4 to her saving throws. Or not to her saving throws. Just a general saving throw.
Okay,
So
wonderful.
my idea is just, when she's struggling for her life, internally, she might be able to help herself.
All right, so a general announcement here. We are getting towards the end of our area. Most of our streams will be about 2.5 hours to 3 hours is what we're slotting our time out for, and we're hitting about the 2.5 hour mark. So, is there anything anyone else would like to do during this free roam area along these platforms?
I will be fashioning I'm going to take some of the wood, if there's any free pieces around, and fashion a new screwdriver out of wood.
All right, definitely. There's actually quite a bit of building materials over where Song and Lake are. It seems like it was a whole crafting area. There's like a forge set up over there that is currently unlit, contrary to the model's appearance, because I can't turn off that fire. There's a lot of like just raw materials like nails, wood, lumber. There seems to be whole bags of coal, just all kinds of building materials. It seems like they were using this as an area to fashion stuff to build structures. It looks like this specific settlement was in a growth period.
Okay. And out of character, I do want to remind Matt that Vol still does have my screwdriver. I just never got it back.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Um,
I was going to let you make a new one and then hand it to you.
okay. That sounds
Beautiful. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other players have anything on their mind that they want to do on this platform?
Go ahead.
I will probably be sitting along one of the ropes around this platform and just playing some song on the fiddle.
That's nice.
As you're doing that, over time, when Lake and Song are continuing to explore this area over here, you do hear a faint harmony along the wind.
I'll give a smile.
You'll see it. I'm gonna get out of the water one, and then
Try to see if I can find any ladders.
All right. Roll a let's do investigation or perception, whichever you prefer.
I don't see anything. I get out of the water and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, you wander around and you can't find anything. In fact, among the 4 platforms, you somehow get lost twice.
I'm gonna try to manage my way back down to over here. Hold on, I need to move my character. I'm gonna grab an oar and kind of stick it in the water towards Cliff.
Cliff looks up at you and seems confused, and then kind of like it seems to dawn on him. He's like, and proceeds to uselessly jump up and down on the lake floor for quite a while before he realizes that he could probably just climb up the stand poles.
Oh, I was gonna like lower down and try to pull him out.
Oh, he's like good 40, 50 feet down there.
Oh, okay.
He's down there.
That okay, I see you.
But as he climbs up the stand pole and with the help of the oar, once he gets up high enough, he climbs up with you. And he is sopping wet, but seems rather excited about the situation.
High five.
He high fives and says, "So, I heard that you punch."
Yeah.
I too am of the art
Of the punch.
of the punch.
Do you do like regular punches or like magic punches?
He holds his incredibly large fists up and he says, "My friends, they do all the flashy stuff, but I just," and then he just absolutely obliterates the poor post next to him. It just becomes splinters.
I'm gonna hit the other one.
Roll to hit. Now that I think about
14.
it, I don't know why I told you to roll to hit. You're
That's
punching
fine.
the post. It's not like it's dodging you. Roll damage.
Six.
All right, you punch right into the middle, and there's splinters fly as your metal cestus gloves just dig in, but it's still standing.
I'm high-fiving again.
He's very excited and high fives you back, and he says, "We can do this together." I love him so much.
I think that while we still have viewers, we should give out that last dice tower.
True facts. All right, so as long as there's nothing else anyone wants to do, our final scene will be Ketetra stating that we should move into the large structure on the far end of the platform, as it's better built than the others, and there is some ambient magic in the place that may be helpful in her sister's recovery. They could, you guys can make camp for the night, as she states, as she kind of like checks her astrolabe, says, "We have been traveling for about 38 hours consecutively. It's about time for us to rest."
Feeling that second to third wave of exhaustion set in.
Yeah, it seems like as you guys become aware of the amount of time you have traveled, it sinks in, the fatigue sets in. Like, being ignorant of the situation, you were able to ignore it. Oh, sorry, my view is messing up. So inside that structure, as you guys walk in, you see a large apparatus with a giant rotating in its center. It seems to be emitting little sparks of light, and it has ripples around it, almost like a purely blue aurora borealis. You recognize these filaments of light as the same light that divides the planes. Ketetra speaks up saying, "This is the apparatus that our forebears have created. This is what holds this plane in one place. The only reason that me and my tribe have left it here is we are unsure the damage it could cause if it was removed."
So I shouldn't take one.
She says, "I would definitely advise against it, especially if we are here. We are unsure if once the structure collapses, this whole plane could get ripped back into its own elemental plane. You know, the divine will in this place may find that it no longer tolerates the sacrilege that this has caused."
Damn, that's intense. All right. I think that was that everything for today? We ready to wrap up?
I do believe so. So I hope everyone enjoyed this section of the session. We will be ending as everyone is settling down to camp for the rest of the, well, quote unquote, night.
For the rest of the night.
All right, so I will be passing this off on to Matt if we want to hand out that last dice tower.
Yeah.
Hope everyone stayed around for this.
Robot face.
Definitely not bots.
Definitely not bots. Now, all hail Nightbot as it does its one trick.
The mighty evil Nightbot.
Yes.
Nightbot taketh, but Nightbot also giveth.
Nightbot, tell us who the victor is.
It's rebelling.
It doesn't want to do it. It doesn't.
It's already done one. It doesn't want to do another.
Yeah. Nightbot has Yeah.
It's
It is
rebelling
tired from
at the
the
rebellion.
epic combat with it and Sam.
Nightbot, you had one purpose. I mean, it worked last time. Oh, users? So, how about this?
Oh,
Okay.
there we go. All right. 27 chocolated ducks.
Wait.
They should say something in chat. Oh wait, they just did. Okay, cool. I was gonna say, make sure they're not a bot.
Did they? What'd they say?
Right
Yeah,
before.
they said,
Nightbot
did
die?
Nightbot die?
Oh.
It
Um.
did, but it's back.
Do we know who the Chocolate Ducks is?
Yes, we do. That is one of Pippin T's friends. So.
Excellent. What?
Wonderful.
Yeah, Chocolate Ducks, just you can
I know Chocolate
message
Ducks.
me after the stream, and I'll make sure that Matt has your information, and we will send you a large dice tower.
You want a large dice tower? I'm gonna give you some green dice because I don't know what to do with them.
Beautiful. Awesome. So I really hope everyone enjoyed the stream. It was really exciting getting our first episode out of the way. It's really cool seeing this come together because this campaign, the Alchemy Forge, is something that I have been running since high school. So this has been kind of in the making, so to speak, for a long time. So putting it into this stream setting and actually getting a very finished, polished version of it, it's a really exciting thing for me, and I really appreciate y'all being around for it.
Hell yeah.
Excellent. If any of you guys have any feedback, we'd love to hear it in the Discord. And we want to get a little bit more chat interaction during the game. So any recommendations on that?
Yes, please. So we have a link to our Discord in our Discord section on the encounter table. While you're there, I mean, there's a link just maybe a couple inches, depending on your screen size, below that for the Vade Makem Etsy shop. Definitely check that out too while you're there.
Okay. I think we're good.
All right. Thank you for viewing, everyone.
One last thing, we will be putting those same dice towers on sale at the Vade Makem shop, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. We just need to talk to. I just need to talk to the director of Encounter Table and make sure that they're okay with selling it. Hey Matt, you cool with that? Yeah, I'm cool with that, Matt. Good job. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Nice. Cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for showing up. It was a pleasure having you all watch us do D&D things.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
Good night.